guys, Colin Elam again, aka the Musket Man, and I am back for another range session on YouTube. I've only had about 2 range sessions with guns. I've gotten busy with work and everything like that. Weather's been bad, and I haven't really had time to come out and do another range session. But we're at the weekend before the 4th of July, and we had some time. The weather's been nicer, a little bit warm, but a lot nicer where I can come out and do another range video. Now, if you can notice right off the bat, I'm standing with the 1757 Spanish Musket again. Now, we're not going over the gun. I already did the previous range video was over the little bit of the history, the gun itself, how it shoots, shooting military cartridges. So we're not really going over the gun. What we're going to be going over here today is military cartridges again, but instead of it just being a normal paper cartridge ball load, we will be going over my version of a buck and ball paper cartridge. Now, this is not your standard buck and ball paper cartridge. What this has is the .600 round ball with 120 grains of 1F, but instead of buckshot like you see in most pictures, reenactments, stuff like that, they have 3 double-aught buckshot in front of the ball, or some shorter. But with this, I did 40 BBs, steel BBs. Some are just normal, some are zinc plated, but 40 steel BBs, not lead. I'm just making that clear. So I wanted to try and do this, and as you can see, it's kind of my own design. So I have 40 BBs up here behind the ball and the powder. So this is my own design that I wanted to make a buck and ball paper cartridge like I was saying, but I didn't have any buckshot. I didn't have any molds to make that, but I had a bunch of BBs. These are the same BBs that you use in your pump action guns, your air compressed guns, same thing. So I thought, why not make something like that, but you're shooting more projectiles downrange? And this is what I came up with. So this is of my own design. So with the 40 BBs in this cartridge, I have a cardboard wad behind it. That is to basically hold the BBs in place, and that way the ball is more secure on the cartridge to make a stronger paper cartridge here. So it's very similar as the round ball. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to compare the 2 cartridges. By the way, this video is going to be filmed in 2 separate days, so if there's a little bit of confusion why I have a different shirt on or the weather, that's why. So I just want to make that clear before we get any further into the video. So I am going to just test the difference in accuracy and damage between the 2 cartridges. So that's all I wanted to do in the video. It's just over a military style cartridge, but we're going a little bit further just to see what we can do. So anyway, guys, let's get back, load up, and do some shooting. So the target we're going to be shooting here today is the same as I always do, is the full man-sized paper target, but now we have a wooden backdrop here. We're not in our cleachy pit where I do mostly all of my shooting. We're here on a berm that's out beside our farmhouse because for this specific cartridge, it's more effective at close range. And I also wanted to see where the BBs are impacting. And as you can see, we test fired it yesterday, and that was just the normal ball loads. And these little holes you can see is where I tested the first ball and BB cartridge. That one I was only using 30 BBs versus 40. I believe we counted 27 out of the 30 it hit. So I thought, well, why not just up it to 40? So anyway, this is just, that's why we have a little bit of different setting versus the target on a steel barrel, just so we can see the impacts. And as you can already see, it's a lot different. But I just want to see what kind of damage we can do to a target. Due to it being a round ball and BB cartridge, the accuracy is not going to be as well with the round ball. Like I said, these two were from just a normal round ball cartridge. But because you've got more paper, more weight, more BBs in front of that round ball, it tends to throw the round ball off target. So I know already right off the bat it's not going to be as accurate, but we're only going to be shooting at about 30 yards, again, just to see the spread we can do. But anyway, this is the target we're going to be shooting at. That's about all I want to talk about. We'll get back over there, load up, and shoot it. All right, guys, before we get started, I want to remind everybody that ear protection and eye protection is strongly recommended when it comes to black powder firearms, especially when you're shooting a flintlock or paper cartridges, anything like that, because you can't replace your eyes and you can't get your hearing back. So please just make sure you're taking the right precaution when it comes to all firearms, but even black powder firearms as well. All right, guys, so we're about roughly 30 yards away from the target, and we're getting ready to shoot. So I was going to go over. It's the same way that you load this up. Now again, I will not be loading this the military way where they would have primed it, then loaded it down the barrel. One thing, it's 1F, so that's huge grain powder. Not very good ignition in a flintlock. Does work, but it's not very good. And number two, it's just safer to prime last, whether it's a flintlock rifle, flintlock musket, you're loading it loose powder, cartridges. I just want to do that just to be 100% safe. So, like I was saying, same way to load off, bite off the end to expose the powder, as you can see. What we're going to do is just load the powder down the barrel. So just make sure you get all of it. Now these are a little bit different cartridges and it's a little bit stiffer. Hopefully we can get it down in there. Now that tape is kind of getting in the way here. Come on now, almost, there we go. Sorry about that. I had to tape that one up because we had a tear, so hopefully it will go down the rest of the way. And oh, there we go. There we go. Also, the gun barrel's dirty and it is sat for a whole evening. All right, a lot better. So that's probably going to have a little bit more recoil. The barrel was dirty because I knew I was going to shoot it again today. Again, this was filmed in 2 separate days. So hopefully that changed things up. So there we go. Now we got our pan exposed, and simply we're just going to prime it. And this is 4F GoX black powder. I just like to tap it a little bit just to kind of level it out in the pan. We're ready to fire. Now with the flintlocks, you can also use the hammer stall or frizzen stall. Since I'm about to shoot, I'm not going to use it, but if you're going to walk around with it loaded, it's easy to pop that on. It's secondary safety. But since I'm fixing to fire, we're ready to go. Don't need that on. All right, so let's see what this first shot can do. All right, there's shot 1. Let's do shot 2. Hopefully, this can load a lot better. All right. Well, their paper didn't quite, and this might have happened back then. Paper didn't quite open up. There we go. Better. Pour that in slightly. 120 grains of 1F. Oh, come on, don't fail me now. Come on, come on. There we go. Maybe. Might not do it. It's a little stiff. And mind you, everybody, this is an experimental cartridge, so hopefully I can get this down. Oh, come on now. There we go. Getting there. And maybe 40 BBs might be... There we go. And 40 BBs might just be a little bit too much. Or I'm just wrapping in too much paper. So, mind you, some of you may be going, well, that's not very quick reload. It's very difficult. This is an experimental cartridge. So this is nothing really true to what was used back in the day. Okay, there we go. Tap that. All right, we're ready to fire again. Shot 2. Ooh, man, that thing kicks. All right, that second shot, man, sheesh. Just compared to just the round ball with this in front of it, man, that thing had a kick. So maybe 40 BBs might be a little too much. Maybe I need to go back to 30, but we're gonna try it one more time. Oh, see, it did it again. Of course, this is crafting paper, like how you did in elementary school, which is similar to brown paper. Oh, spilled a little bit, that's okay. All right, let's get that down in there. All right, oh, that one's way easier. Maybe it's just because it was the purple paper. Maybe it's just the dye. Thanks, China. Okay. A little better. There we go. Come on now. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice and solid. All right. Okay. Hopefully my flint isn't too dull. Let's get that off. Hopefully it'll go off this last time. Flint might need to be napped. But third time's a charm. It may be a little bit too much. There we go. Get some of that out there. All right. Now again, some of you are probably going, well, this ain't very quick. Again, I've already said it. It is an experimental cartridge, so I may need to go back to the drawing board to fix this. And just after 2 shots, this barrel is hot. I actually, off camera, had to wait about 2-3 minutes just to let it cool down. So hopefully we're good. We're gonna do this last shot. Let's see what we can do. That one had good ignition. All right, guys, so you can see the damage here. Now, I did say before we started that because of doing it this way, the accuracy of this cartridge is not going to be very good. Now, we did have a dead center shot. We had a shoulder shot, which would have also most likely killed him. We had a miss. Now, how this cartridge was designed to do, it was designed to send as much lead down range as possible. So they fired in volleys. So you sacrifice the accuracy of the main ball, but this may have hit a soldier behind him. But as you can see, the pattern of those 40 BBs have hit all over this target. We've got it in the tape. I mean, look over here. We got some over here, tape over here in the head, the neck. All of these would have hit soldiers behind him. Some are way over here. I mean, all over his chest region, even down by his groin. So that was the whole purpose of this cartridge. Now, mine is experimental to get more lead downrange. Now, these are still BBs. These went through this plywood. So you got to imagine the kind of damage that that would do. Now, if you're going to hunt with this or you're going to do competition, it's not the most accurate with the main projectile. But if you're trying to hit a massive target at very close range, it'll do it. Because even if you miss the main cartridge, all those other steel BBs are going to hit somewhere. So that's what I wanted to do. I call this a complete success. May have to go back to the drawing board, mess with the cartridge a little bit, just try to adjust it. But for the first time making a ball and BB paper cartridge, I call this a complete success. Wow, that is just great. It's always fun to shoot stuff like this. All right, guys, I thought since we were already out here, I would do one more thing. I'm going to shoot one more time, but except what I'm going to do, oh, well, first you need to drop it. Don't forget to do that. You need to drop it on the ground first. And once I tear the paper, instead of loading it upside down, I'm going to load it with the BBs first on top of the ball. Let's see if that might increase the accuracy. We're already out here. I made some cartridges. Let's just see what happens. Again, paper's not wanting to cooperate. Of course, this is really old crafting paper I just found. Hence why they're different colors. Okay, got all that. Let's see if this will work any. May not. And I'm just going to tear the rest of that off because I don't need it. We got enough paper there. It should be plenty of wadding. Oh wow, that went down way. Look at that. That went down way easier. So let's see if this fourth and final shot will increase the accuracy any. We're going to prime like I've been doing. I know we recorded this 4 times, but it's for educational purposes. Okay. There. All right, we should be good. Okay, so this is the ball and BB cartridge upside down. So let's see what happens. Not quite as much of a kick, I noticed, and I think that's because it was a little bit easier to ram down. Well, let's check out the target, see what happened. All right, so here is the fourth and final shot. Like I was saying, it didn't have as much recoil. It was actually a lot easier to ram down the barrel, and it seemed to increase the accuracy of the round ball. Now, I could have just gotten completely lucky like I did with this one. Who knows? But it still did quite a bit of spread. I do notice, though, and I know it might be hard to see for you, the viewers, there's not quite as many. Look at that. There we go. There's a BB that didn't quite go all the way through. Sorry, got sidetracked. There's not as much spread as there was doing it that way. I can tell there's not as many BBs on target as there was loading it in the back way. And I think that's simply because it doesn't build up enough pressure loading it backwards, and thus increases the accuracy of the round ball. So that was just for fun, just because we were out here, just see what happens, because a lot of guys that make these do load the cartridges upside down. So if I do make this again, that may be something I just continue to do, or if I want to get more steel on paper, load it the other way. That's pretty good. I enjoyed that. That was fun. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of testing out my ball and BB paper cartridge. Remember, I'm the Musket Man. Keep your powder dry. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later, guys.